All right, everyone, this is kind of what we've been building up to through Unit 1. We talked about expressions and different properties that we can use to rewrite expressions. And then through Unit 2, we've been solving equations. So this is where those two things come together. And I'm going to solve each of these equations that are multi-step equations and label them with what allows me to do that step. So for example, on the first one we have 3x plus 5x equals 24. So I want to solve this for x, obviously. I need to first combine like terms. So 3x plus 5x, anytime I see in order to combine like terms, remember that they have to have the exact same variable with the exact same exponent. So these are all x, or these are both x with a power of 1. And so no matter where those are in the equation, if they're on the same side, I can just add them together. So 3x plus 5x becomes 8x equals 24. And we did that with by combining like terms. Okay, now we still want to solve this for x. So I'm going to, I'm multiplying by 8. So the inverse operation would be to divide by 8. So that gets me x equals 3. And I got that using the division property. So we want to be able to solve these algebraically and explain what we're doing. Okay, so the answer for that one was x equals 3. Number 2, I also need to combine like terms here. So I have 8x and negative 2x. Remember that the sign out in front goes with it. And then I have this positive 2 by itself. Now, we're only combining like terms if they're on the same side together. And we'll look at what happens if we have a like term on the other side as well. But 8x and negative 2x would become 6x. And then we have this 2 left over. And that equals 32. Again, that is combining like terms. Okay, now we need to solve this algebraically, or continue to solve it algebraically. So first, I have this plus 2. The inverse operation would be to subtract 2. That leaves me with 7x equals 30. That is the subtraction property that allowed me to get there. And finally, I'm going to divide both sides by 6. That gives me x equals 5, and that is the division property. So we took 3 steps. We have 3 explanations for those steps. Problem number 3. I have 3 times x plus 7 in parentheses equals 36. So you see that I have this problem written twice. That's not an accident. I'm going to show you 2 different ways to work this out. So first, we could use the distributive property, and I could say, okay, 3 times x is 3x, and 3 times 7 is plus 21, or positive 21, and that's equal to 36. So that would be using the distributive property. Okay, then I would need to subtract 21 from both sides. So that is the subtraction property. That would leave me with 3x equals 15. And then finally, I would divide by 3. That leaves me with x equals 5. And that would be the division property. Okay, so you can always check yourself. Okay, let me put this back in. If I put 5 right here, 5 plus 7 is 12, and 12 times 3 is 36. So I'm checked off, good to go. The other way that I could think about this is that no matter what I'm multiplying, if I'm multiplying something, The division property says that I can take that, divide it on both sides, and and have my equation remain equal. So I could cover this up and say, okay, 3 is being multiplied by something. So if I divide this on both sides, I remain equal because this is being multiplied. So I'm going to divide this whole side by 3 and this whole side by 3. That leaves me with x plus 7 equals 12. And that was the division property. And then I can subtract 7 on both sides. I get x equals 5. So that makes this a 2-step problem instead of a 3-step problem. So that was the subtraction property. Okay, so either way, we see that we get to 5. We just get there in different ways. This is if we are multiplying something times a group in parentheses. We can take this and divide it over instead of distributing it. Okay, and one more example, just to show you. I think you would know what to do if you see this, but just to give you an example. Okay, I have 2 times x minus 1 plus 7 equals 15. Anytime I'm adding something, maybe I need to combine like terms with those integers first, but anytime I'm adding something or subtracting something, that needs to happen first, inverse operation, before I move on to the multiplication or division. So I'm going to subtract 7 from both sides. That leaves me with 2 times x minus 1 equals 8. So that was the subtraction property, obviously. Okay, then I can do either one of these steps. Either I can start with distributive property or start with division. So I'm going to start with division. Divide both sides by 2. That was division property. So it leaves me with x minus 1 equals 4. Which makes sense, right? 2 times something equals 8. That whatever this is has to be equal to 4. And so I take what that is and set it equal to 4. Then I'm going to add 1 to both sides. I get x equals 5. That was the addition property. Okay, so now I want you to complete the practice that I assigned you for today. And if you have any questions, let me know.